Hi, welcome back to my DIY channel. Today is not a DIY video. This is my rant video on selling my RV, and I've just felt very strongly about making it. It was a total nightmare. I listed my RV in, I believe it was September. I put the sign on it in August. I got a lot of crazy people that responded to my ad. And I want you guys to protect yourself, and I'll go through some of my experiences with you and tell you some of the scams that I'm familiar with even before I was selling my RV. And this was so bad that I actually took it off the Craigslist and off the Facebook for about 2 months. And I told my husband, I said, I really am hating people. People were kicking tires and taking up a lot of my time asking questions, so I made the YouTube video and did a walk around and inside and out so people that didn't live close could look at it. Initially, the credit union told me it was worth $20,500, and it did have a lien on it. It wasn't a big lien, but it still had a lien on it. And that kind of scared some people away. It wasn't a scammer. I was trying to sell my RV. The first offer, I listed it for $20,500, mind you. The first offer was for $8,000. And I said no. The second offer was for $12,000, and I got the song and dance about he had a sick mom in California and needed it to go there. Well, my thoughts were, doesn't your mom have a place to live? Can't you stay with your mom? You know, if you don't have the money to buy an RV, then, why are you contacting me? Oh, the third offer, the guy came and actually looked at it, and we were on our way to drive to the credit union to pay it off. And the credit union's about 3 hours from my house. He apparently had cash. We got about an hour from my house. He got a call from his wife and had to go home. She was having a medical emergency is what I understood. And come to find out she had mental issues and thought he was going to leave her. And it was just crazy for him and me. The fourth offer, a gentleman wanted to make payments. And they were building a house, and I said, no, you can take out a loan like I did. And they didn't want any more on their credit since they were building a house. And I'm thinking, no, you're not going to tear up my RV, build your house, and bring it back. If you're just wanting something to stay in, why don't you buy something like a trailer, a camper trailer, not an RV. It'd be much cheaper. And he was like back and forth with me, and it's like, listen, I'm not Goodwill. And that kind of made him mad. The fifth offer actually sounded really promising. They were going to she actually did send me $200 down. It was going to come down from up north and buy it. She had the information to do a wire transfer, and she kept putting me off and putting me off and putting me off. And then I find out she says that her husband made a mistake. They're going to owe more on taxes. Because of his business. Well, I'm sorry your husband's business did so well that you owe more on taxes, but I just turned down like 12 people that were calling on this RV. It's like, oh my goodness. She says, well, since you hung on to it for 3 weeks, you can keep the deposit. And I said, in my experience, deposits are non-refundable. You're not doing me any favors here. The next person that came to see it, mind you, this is the second person that's actually come to see it. It was too small for. The sixth person wanted me to drive it 3 hours north for them to look at it. This was back and forth. He wanted, what was it he wanted? Several wanted information that was just, I thought was nuts. So, that's the man that wanted me to actually go out and tell him what size every tank was, wanted to know the size of the generator. It was just crazy because I was inside, outside, taking pictures, sending them to him, and it was just crazy. The next person wanted me to drive it 5 hours south for them to look at it. And the last one here that I believe I have listed was actually kind of a stalker. I called him a creeper. He was just nuts. Back and forth on text messages for 3 weeks. I did talk to him on the phone. He was having a hard time hearing me, so I could understand that he could not hear me. And right off the bat, I said, my credit union said the only people that they've had trouble verifying money for a cashier's check is Wells Fargo. Well, that was okay. He had another bank. And some of the text messages were just a little nutty. And one of them, it came back, he knew my birthday, he knew my maiden name, he knew my previous married name, and he wanted to know where I worked. And I said, I'm not telling you that. I said, I need to keep myself safe. I'm not telling you where I work. Most people, if they were looking you up online, wouldn't tell you. I said, you're a creeper. He called me a scammer. It's like, I'm not a scammer. I'm trying to sell my RV. It's just, you're a creeper. You know, I'm only 5 foot tall. I'm 120 pounds. I do not want to walk out from work and some strange person be in there waiting for me. It ends up, I don't know if the man had dementia or what, but he got a cashier's check from Wells Fargo and then got mad because my credit union would not take that or be able to release it. One gentleman took the day off, was going to come look at it, had the money, wanted to take it home. Well, I can't verify your check. You're going to have to come back. Well, I'm not making 2 trips, he said. And I said, then you're not taking the RV. So it's just been crazy. I did want to warn you about its TDD services, capital T, letter D, letter D. It's the services that people use that are deaf. They type in, a person tells you what they've said, you tell the person that's on the phone line, they type it to them. It's what deaf people use when they're using the phone. I think now we have text messages, but when we had home phones, that was the service. And when I was selling puppies, this happened a lot with scammers. They would use this service, and this one really irks me. I want to use a worse word than that. It just irks me to the core that people take advantage of services that they rely on, because if a deaf person actually was trying to buy my RV or a puppy, I would have hung up. I wouldn't have sold it to them, and it's not fair to the deaf person, but I still need to protect myself. And some of the questions that I got asked, they wanted to know the numbers on the tires. The guy that I told you wanted to know the specs, the tanks, the sizes. One lady even asked me for pictures of the antifreeze. Well, I'm sorry, I got arthritis in my shoulders. That's up high. I can't push down on that to loosen it up to take a picture. I can give you a picture of the overflow, but I can't get the lid off. I did have it listed on Facebook, and one lady wouldn't go to the YouTube video that I took. She wanted pictures. And I said, well, it takes you through a whole tour. And I don't know if she didn't know how. All she had to do was click on the link. So I gave her pictures, and one gentleman said, you know, how these older people, they can't figure out technology. And he was very supportive. He says, I had no problem getting to it. Another one on Facebook also said, my thing's flashing at me. Hold on a moment. My battery's about dead, so I'm going to hurry up. One person on the Facebook forum said he wanted to see pictures of the hole in the roof, and I said, there's no hole in the roof. And he says, so I want to see pictures of what you fixed on the roof. And I said, there was no hole to fix. And another girl come back and says, I don't see a hole. And he says, I see how you are all ganging up together. And the girl told him it was a troll and get off the site. Well, I finally figured out why my camera was flashing at me. It was almost full on memory, so I had to do some deleting. I got to learn how to use the memory card. But I wanted to say thank you so much to the people on the Facebook forum for having my back, and I want you all to be safe when you're selling your RV. I was almost to the point to take it to a local RV dealer and pay the commission because it was a nightmare. The last man that came did buy it. He was kind of a jerk to me. I was telling him some of the things I'd done to it, like replaced the microwave and put the bypass to put the antifreeze on it. And I said I took it to a mechanic because my husband did not want me to buy it, so he didn't have anything to do with it. And his response was, I'm sure you did the best job you could. And he was just really jerky about the whole thing. And when he went out the driveway, if I never see him again, it will be too soon. Stay safe.